Hi, and welcome back to another how-to video. Today is another special one because it's Bank Holiday Friday, at least I think it is, and the wife wants to have a homemade sort of Tiptree style afternoon tea. So we're going to make a couple of cakes and then obviously we'll have some sandwiches, so let's get started. So for the cake we're going to need 100 grams of butter, that goes into the bowl. 100 grams of sugar, and then you want to cream them or mix them together, not gently. A couple of minutes to cream together, and then we can add the oven. After a couple of minutes, add 1 egg. Once the egg and the butter and the sugar have mixed together, then we can add 100 grams of flour. Just make sure that you scrape down any cake mix. So you want it all to go and mix together. A nice smooth cake. Mix that for a minute or two until the cake mix forms a nice smooth consistency. Once all the ingredients are mixed together nicely, time to take it out and put it into our cake tin. You can use any dish you want, just make sure you've lined it, either greased it or use some grease-proof paper. Yeah, so let's just get all this lovely cake mix out. Now if you wanted to, you could add some vanilla or almond essence or some lemon juice or whatever you want into this cake mix. This is basically a standard cake mix for something like a vanilla sponge, or just a basic cake that you can ice and put any kind of flavourings in. So yeah, so at this stage you can put any flavourings you want into it, and that will change what cake you make. So let's get this cake mix into our dish, and you want to just spread it out nice and evenly, and then that can go in the oven. Now I've got the oven set at 160 electric. I'll put this on the middle shelf and I'll give it 15 to sort of 20 minutes, and again just keep one eye on it, because you want to make sure it's cooked in the middle but you don't want to burn it or anything, so otherwise that would just go horrible and dry. So yeah, about 15 to 20 minutes, we'll get this in the oven and we'll get started on the next stage. So while the cake's cooking nicely in the oven, we can move on to the scones. So you want 100 grams of self-raising flour and a teaspoon of baking powder. And 30 grams of butter. Once that's in, mix the butter and the flour together. Alright. Once your butter and flour is mixed in nicely, you want to add about a tablespoon of caster sugar and about the same of sultanas, just a small handful. And then 1 egg. And then you want to mix that together nicely until a dough is formed. Once all the ingredients are mixed nicely into a nice dough, you want to get your mix onto a flour board and just make sure that everything is mixed together nicely, and just give it a mix round with your hands. Now at this stage you can either roll it out and then cut it into whatever shapes you want using whatever cutters, or what you can do is you can cut them into smaller shapes and then form your own scones, just like that. So I'm gonna make some nice large ones, so I reckon I'm gonna cut them into two and do nice big large scones. So with each one, just form a nice shape. There you go. Like I said, you can cut them down smaller if you like, make as many as you like, or you can make them as large as you like. So yeah, I reckon these ones will do nicely. So once they're done, these can now go on a tray and into the oven, and as long as your cake mix is done, we can swap them straight out. So we'll take the cake mix out, put these in the oven, same temperature, about 160, 170 electric, middle shelf, just a little bit of milk glaze on the top, and give them about 15 to 20 minutes. Again, just keep one eye on them. Once they've risen up and got a nice golden brown colour, get them out of the oven and let them cool down. And then we can move on to the next. Right, so now you've put your scones in the oven and you've taken your cake out, just put that to one side to cool down and we can get on with the icing. So you want 200 grams of icing sugar, that goes into your bowl. And now you can either put it together with water and red or pink food colouring, or you can use blackcurrant. So I'm going to use some blackcurrant ribena. Now I've got about 40 ml, but we might not need that all. So we will get this mixer down and put it on slowly, and then slowly add in the blackcurrant. Now bear in mind, like I said, you want to add it slowly because once it starts to form, that's when you want to leave it alone, because if you put too much in and it goes sort of too runny or gloopy, you're going to have to put more icing sugar in. Right, so I've used just under 40 millilitres of blackcurrant, and the icing is now done. So as you can see, it hangs perfectly on the mixer, and that's what you want. You don't want it too solid because it will destroy the cake when you're trying to ice it, and you don't want it too runny because otherwise it will just pour off everywhere. If you find that it is either or, either add more icing sugar to solidify it up, or just add a little bit more blackcurrant, or just a little bit of water, because you've already got the colour and the flavour in there now, so a little bit of water just to make it a little bit thinner. But that is it. So we just wait for our cake to cool, and we can ice it. Right, so the timer's gone off, the scones are out the oven and cooling to one side, the cake is now nice and cool. So what we can do is now ice it. So this is the nice fun part. You literally just blob the icing straight on top and then just spread it out nice and smooth. Now what you can do is you can get yourself a palette knife and heat it up a little bit with some boiling water, and make sure you dry it, and then just literally that will help spread it on nice and easy, and that way you'll get a nice even coating and it won't affect the sponge too much. So yeah, so spread that over nice and evenly, and then what you can do is just put it in the fridge just for about a minute or two, let the icing harden a little bit, and then just neatly trim off the edges so that you get more of a square cake, and then cut that into your individual portions, and then that'll be ready to go with the rest of our stuff for our afternoon tea. Right, so the next bit is to make sandwiches for the afternoon tea. Now I'm sure everyone knows how to make a sandwich, so we're going to skip ahead of that part and rejoin when we're ready to assemble the afternoon tea. There we go. That's all the sandwiches. So the sandwich is now on. There they go, the scones. And now we can put our iced cupcakes. I reckon to either side, you know, might as well treat yourself. And there we have it. Your own homemade afternoon tea with a stand that you can purchase from most places. But that's it. So that is your afternoon tea, and that is sadly the end of the video. Thank you all so much again for watching. See you in the next one, and happy VE Day everyone. Laters.